It seemed like the defensive line did a pretty good job getting pressure without much help behind them. Can you kind of just talk about how successful they may have been?
Yeah, I thought they did a really good job. We knew going into the game that we needed to be able to get a four-man pass rush. We thought that was important in terms of the matchups on the back end, and we thought that if we were able to get some good pressure in his face, that we would get him off his spot and reduce his opportunity to go down the field. And really, for the most part, I thought we did a good job up front.
How much did that allow the secondary to be in coverage and be able to see the ball more? Because it looked like some of them even said after the game that they thought they saw the ball better than they had been in previous games.
Yeah, I think, obviously, anytime you can get a great four-man pass rush, that's ideal, because that way you can maximize your coverage. So I thought it helps everybody. It certainly helps the back end. It allows us to play with two high safeties. That limits big throws, and big plays. So, I thought being able to establish four-man pass rush early was critical in the game. I think we have 4 sacks out of the four down guys, and I thought they did a really nice job.
Eric Dungy's had a lot of success running the ball. Is that a lot of design runs? Is it mostly scrambling?
It's both. He's an opportunistic runner. When he has his opportunities to run and scramble, he does do a good job pulling the ball down and getting out. But then they also have the element of quarterback design run, which he does a good job at. So, it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, Virginia Tech had some success scrambling the ball. I'm sure Syracuse will try that. How do you contain that?
Well, a lot of that comes down to rush lane discipline. So it's kind of the give and take when you have when you're playing coverage on the back end. The way that we were, there are a lot of backs to the ball, so it really becomes the responsibility of the D-line to be able to have great rush lanes. But the difficult part for the defensive line, and it's always the part you balance out, is A, you want them to be aggressive, and then B, there's 6 gaps and 4 guys rushing. So no matter how you cut the math, it's hard to keep somebody in the pocket without anybody on the back end providing some support for the defensive front. So, there's a lot of reasons why quarterbacks get out, but obviously that's something that we have to be aware of and do a good job this week of keeping him in the pocket.
Crawford. What particular happened there on that 4th and 12?
4th and 9?
Yeah, 4th and 9.
So we had a 4-man pass rush game going, and we were in coverage, and we really got good pressure. He was able to buy enough time to find a rush lane and get out. We had 2 choices at that point in time. We could either bring pressure, which was one of my thoughts, or go with our 4-man pass rush that had been successful. I erred on the side of going with the 4-man rush to give our guys the most coverage help we could in that situation. I can second guess myself all day long whether it was the right thing to do, because it didn't work. But at the time I thought being able to give our guys some coverage support was the right thing, because when you do bring pressure, it puts us in man-to-man, and they had started to expose us a little bit outside as the game wore on. So hindsight's always 20/20. Maybe I would have done it different knowing the result, but at the time I thought that was the best thing to do.
Crawford only played like 5 snaps. What's going on there? Was he not healthy, not conditioned?
He's just not ready yet. He just wasn't ready that day. I'm hoping he might be ready this week, but he wasn't ready. We gave him a shot.
Was it physical or like conditioning?
No, it was just he. Coming off the injury, he wasn't totally ready to roll yet.
What's the situation with Jalen Dalton?
He's out here. Coach Fedora. He usually handles all injury discussions, so I'll err to him. But when he's ready to go again, he'll go.
And then Malik Carney. Malik Carney. What's the deal there? You have to apply for a waiver. Do you know what's going on there?
No, so the way that works is, obviously we have to eventually serve all the suspensions. But when it becomes a player safety issue, when our bodies are depleted because of injuries, there is some room there with the NCAA in terms of when they have to serve the suspensions, because you certainly don't want to put somebody else at risk because we don't have enough bodies to play in the game. So
if the same guys can't go, then Malik, you apply for another waiver for Malik and he could play this weekend. Is that kind of?
Yeah, but if the double-edged sword with that is you can't keep kicking it down the road. They have to eventually serve it. So that's going to be a discussion that we have every week as to when we want to have all this stuff happen.
Thanks, Coach. Is there another quarterback like Dungy that you guys have faced the last couple of years that has a similar skill set that he does?
I mean, you know, to be 100% honest, I think the quarterback we played this last week is similar in some ways. You know, Dungy can throw it. He's big and he's athletic and he can scramble and pull the ball down, but he can also run the quarterback design run. He's a good player. I mean, there's no question about it. And the offense goes through him. So you know, in some ways, he's not that dissimilar to Ryan Willis we just played. Now that they don't feature Willis in the run game like that, but again, I don't think it's because he can't do it. I think it's because they probably feel like they have a depth issue at quarterback, which you know they probably do. They had a true freshman come in behind them in the game. So, you know, but anyway, I think Dungy's a good player.
All right,
Thanks, Coach.
Coach.
Appreciate it.